Hello, guys. It's good to see you back again this week. How's everybody feeling? Feeling good? Look a little tired? You tired?
A little tired.
Okay. Well, last week we discussed group goals, and this week I want to look more towards individual goals, like to see how you guys are doing, how we can make progress throughout these meetings. I know this is about the 5th session, so we should be having a little progress now. So, James, is it okay if I start with you? Is that fine?
Yes, fine.
So, I have this question. It's called the miracle question. And basically, if you were to wake up one morning and you had never drunk any alcohol, period, because we know that's an issue right now, and if you had never drunk any alcohol, like, how would you think your life would look?
I honestly think that it would be the total opposite of what it is now.
Total opposite.
Because me and my wife's major problem is me drinking, and I would have had better ways to cope with stress.
Right.
Because as you know, my son is sick, and if I wasn't drinking, then I could probably have other outlets to release my stress.
Okay.
And my church, they would respect me, because as of right now, they really don't. They're like, why are you even here? You know what I'm saying? Because they all know my dirty little secret now.
Right.
And
so you believe that, you and your wife's marital issues, and then your son being sick, and then also the church, it all puts stress on you. It makes you want to drink.
yeah.
So I think we should make some goals towards one of those issues in order to maybe better those situations. So is there one particular one that you want to work on, or you want to start with?
I want to get my wife and my relationship back on track.
Okay. So what are some things about your marriage that you feel do not go right? Like, do you guys argue often? Do you never see each other? Or?
Like, I spend the majority of my time at the church, so we really don't see each other that much. Whenever we see each other, like, we're always arguing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as I get home, I go to the refrigerator and I get my alcohol out, and I just go to my office, as I would call it, in the basement, and just drink.
Yeah, so you're drinking your outlet. So do you feel like your wife, maybe you guys don't get along as much because you drink? Is that why? She doesn't like the alcohol?
She don't like it.
Okay. Well, maybe this week coming up, maybe try drinking less. Just start less, drinking less and less. And maybe when you come home, maybe you should go try to speak with your wife rather than drink more. You think that'll work? You want to try that this week? And just write down, like we did before, write down in your journal, how things go, and just see where we can go from there. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So who else would like to share how they're feeling, and then maybe we can come up with goals for your issues.
This week has been better for me. There have been some stressors, but I've found other ways to cope with it other than going to my drug choice and selling. So.
Could you maybe share some ways? Maybe you can help the other members share some ways that you coped with those stressors in this past week.
A lot of the time, like where it's the end of the semester, I've been trying to get homework done and everything. Like I've just been trying to work on everything to get that done and focusing on that, and just trying to figure out ways of like reading for pleasure and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I was once a college student, so I understand how it feels, to have all those homework assignments and final exams coming up, at the end of the week. So I can really relate to you in some way. Well, what do you think is maybe the biggest, besides, what you think school is the biggest issue right now for you, and,
The biggest issue, I guess, would be the fact that I did start selling, and so, people do contact me every so often.
Right.
So that would be the biggest one.
I know this seems very simplistic or simple, but do you think maybe even just getting a new number or, a new phone or, would help with that?
Yeah.
So this week, do you want to do that? You want to try to work on that?
Yeah.
Just get a new, number, and maybe things will die down a little bit.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right. Next, anyone? Lydia or Jennifer, which one of you would like to? All right, Lydia, how about you?
Well,
How's this week been for you?
this week's been pretty good. Since this meetings and everything, I've connected with a lot of other mothers because before all of this and everything, I didn't have any really like support for being pregnant and all. So since here, I've been able to get in contact with like a pregnancy agency, you know, and that has really helped me to be able to have someone else to lean on and understand what I'm going through and what I have in store and all. So
Well, that's really good. I see you're already making progress,
Yeah.
like individual progress, and that's really good. So, but I want to focus on one main issue. Like, are you sure like where you're going to be living or any arrangements how to get materials for your child besides the support group?
I would say my biggest problem right now would be like finances
Mm-hmm.
and trying to finance for myself and for my child, and just because I have a really small paying job. It just pays minimum wage, and it's enough to get like just minimum housing and everything, but I'm like living on tooth and nail kind
Yeah.
of, you know, just whatever I can barely get by with. So just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do to provide for an infant financially.
Right, and I know that's really hard when you know you have a child and that's your responsibility, so you have to take care. But I see you're making progress, which is really good. I know there are a lot of resources. I know you said you have the support system at the pregnancy center. There's a lot of other resources where you can get food and government assistance to help you. And we'll look more into that, and I'll talk with you privately of how to get those resources with food and baby formula and all that. So, and Jennifer,
And this week's been a little more stressful. Just, the everyday stress.
Right.
And you always think people's looking at you, and even when they're not. And just stress of kids and finances. But it's just.
so you have a lot. You have your finances and your children, and then being sent home from work, or is that right? Or did you get fired, or was it more?
No, just probation until they find out if I really took it or not.
Okay. All right. So you would say right now you're, would you say, trying to support your family is the most difficult thing right now? Like finding a way to pay for bills?
Because my license are on hold.
Okay. So you can't really do much right now. Maybe we can, if you woke up one morning and none of this was going on, like you weren't on probation from your job, how would things look? How would your life look?
I would probably be a lot happier and would have my job and be able to support my family the way they should be.
Right. Okay. Well, I think right now, since you can't really put a time limit on what the boss says, I think it would be important to maybe look for a little part-time job, and maybe even if it's just minimum wage, it's something that you can have to support your family for now. And is that okay? So is everyone okay with the goals that we have made? Does anybody have any questions about how to continue to make progress? And hopefully do things like after you get one issue solved, or you better one issue, so to speak, that maybe you'll be less stressed and you wouldn't want to use it. And I want everybody to continue to write down like how you're feeling, or if you have any stressors or any issues, continue to write those down. And anytime you want to use or you want to drink, then write it down, just to somewhat of an outlet for you. And thank you guys for coming again this week. Do we have any questions? And remember, confidentiality is important, okay? Anything we say in this group does not go outside the group. So thank you guys for sharing. I feel like we're really making progress.